Recording in progress.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know if you want me in here or not, but I figured I could at least set up.
Show thing.
Keith's waiting, but so I got it set up so you can just
Woo,
cold.
got a little chilly.
You can just talk on there. Sound's gonna come out of there. I just unhooked it from the overhead stuff.
So you're letting people in, so I can get rid of this.
I'm not yet. I just let me and Josh in.
Are you going to? So
Sure.
do I
Yeah.
need to make you something?
If you want to make us like co-host, or do you want the dings?
No. I don't know why that was funny. No dings.
So I usually just put it on the little bar so that way, and I just toss it in the corner so you don't have to worry about it. Put your mouse up there and participants. And go ahead and make me the host, and I can make Josh a co-host. That way you won't get the notifications when people join or leave.
Oh. What am I missing?
This one's the host.
Oh, there you go.
That's why. Okay. I can't select that.
What is? I had some turkey.
It was good. I really like that turkey.
And it wasn't real dry. You know, sometimes it gets a little dry. All right, we have just a few more minutes, so we'll just allow a couple more minutes before we get started.
Shouldn't have stopped anything.
Yeah, you're the host and Josh is the co-host. Do I need to do something with my volume?
No, it's just I'll mute myself.
Okay.
Morning, Amy. Morning, Keith.
Hi, y'all. It's chilly in here.
It's chilly everywhere.
Oh, my hands are cold.
I was not ready for that.
What, the cold?
Yeah.
No.
Just a little too cold.
Well, yesterday, like you all were eating, I was out showing land in that freezing wind.
Thought of you. I was like, where was Amy? I didn't see her
Oh
yesterday.
yeah, I was in Langston. That's where I like to hang out these days.
Well, and land is the worst too, because it probably didn't have a lot of trees, so it's kind of open.
Now I've started driving my husband's truck, which is a funny all in itself.
Uh-huh.
It's like a Seinfeld.
I don't
But-
like driving Brian's truck. It's just way too big.
But I'm having to drive out and all that land all the time. It's kind of funny.
It's a big old SUV.
My platform.
Seriously though, my SUV does not feel like Brian's truck. His truck feels like it's 10 feet longer
We keep driving it.
than
Oh,
mine.
yeah. And
I don't,
backing
it
up.
doesn't turn the same.
No.
Like,
No.
it doesn't feel like it does. All right, we will go ahead and get started because we've got quite a few points to go over. Josh is going to provide you guys with a link to this article. The article and the kind of the 16 points came from a company called Playster. And if I'm not mistaken, Playster is a CRM company.
They're a website. I don't know if they have a CRM.
Website. Okay, they're a website company and they actually do a lot with real estate agents. Ow.
They used to provide our last websites before Command.
They used to do our websites before Command. But they had some really good, some of it is, just redundant, but some good points to make regarding creative real estate marketing ideas. And Amy had mentioned this before, that she wanted something, how do we find more deals off of our listings? And so it's all about how you're getting your name out there and how you're prospecting. And these are some of the things that will help you with that. When you get this article, there's several bonus links that I will reference in today's training session, but I don't have those links with me. They will be in that article. So when you go to that article, Like one of them is writing strong, our first one is actually writing strong MLS listing descriptions. Well, part of your bonus is you have a link on how to write a great real estate listing copy. I don't know about you, but the one thing that's always been hard for me is, what do I say in my listing description? What do I put? Because we only have a certain amount of characters that we can use. So we don't get a lot of extra room to use it, but what can I put in there? A perfect example is the other day I had someone that wanted to look for 3 beds plus an office, or 4 beds that they could use one of those as an office. Well, sometimes people won't put in the MLS if it has a study. So you're kind of guessing sometimes based on the square footage and the number of beds and baths, if it actually has like an additional room. So it's very, very important to make sure that when you're putting your description in, even in today's, I mean, more so today than ever before, a lot of people are going to buy properties based off of what you put in the MLS. So the more you put in the MLS, the better. Now, the other part to that is the more you put in the MLS, the more people are going to recognize your actual listing. And that's when people start to reach out to you. When you make a great listing copy and a great ad copy, that draws people in, and it creates them coming to you, where you're now getting their information so that you can convert them into either that particular property buyer or a buyer for another property. The biggest thing with when you get that lead is you have to stay in contact with them, and doing your smart plans and setting people up on smart plans is a great opportunity for you to do that. When you use your MLS listing description and you're using that copy to put on, maybe you have a blog post, or maybe you want to put it on social media, videos and photos are a huge, huge piece to getting your properties recognized as well. So in that bonus, you will get a little link that will take you to a place, a website, and it tells you how to write a great real estate listing copy. So it starts with that. The next is to optimize your listing campaigns. So the key word here is you want to attract qualified buyers through a search engine. And keywords are very, very important to that. What you put in and how you attract people is going to be based upon the keywords that you're using. So one of the bonus pieces that you have under Optimize Your Listing Campaigns is there's a link to an ultimate guide to real estate keywords. There's like 105 different ideas of keywords you can use. Example would be real estate agent in Edmond, buying a home in Edmond, things like that, that are going to be what people are typing into search engines. That's what you want to use, because that's going to draw more people to your actual website and to your property. Oh, I love this one. Josh did a great job with pulling my pictures. This one is, she's trying to get out of the photo, but by golly, her head is still in the picture. But at least the toilet seat is down. But I hate all of this stuff that's on the back of the toilet and on the sink. But then here, attention to detail is very important. Here, the agent has dragged the body outside before taking the photograph. So that's pretty much where, photos are very, very important. I'm teaching a class. Do you want to teach it with me? I think we have somebody that's going to actually come in and help teach it with me. But photos are so important. You can shut that door too, because I'm probably loud. Thank you. I am loud. I know that. It is very important that if you are able to hire a professional for your pictures. That's going to get more people to click through more of your pictures, and that will draw them in to where they're going to reach out and hopefully schedule an appointment with you or ask you questions about it. Now, I will tell you that in the beginning, when I first started, I did not hire a professional. Understandably, we talk about leading with revenue, not expenses. And this is one of those that if you do not feel you have the funds available to do it, take your own pictures and get to a point where when you close that deal, you save money back to use towards your listing photos, because listing photos, professional listing photos will help you sell that home for higher amounts, but will also help you capture those prospects that are looking at your property. You want to look at things like staging. You want to take photos in the right light. I don't know if you've ever had photos taken and you're like, man, that house just does not look as good as it did to my own eyes. Well, the problem with it is if you don't hire a professional photographer that understands the time of day and the lighting and what direction is the house facing, there's a lot of things that can create pictures that are less than satisfactory based on the time of day and shooting in locations that might have better visibility at noon as opposed to at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Natural lighting, artificial lighting. Are you going to do indoor, outdoor shoots? I've had photographers come back and do outdoor shots different than when they do the indoor shots. You just want to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're highlighting the benefits of that property and what are the most important features. Because again, this is all about getting things into the MLS, into the internet, that's going to draw people in and want to reach out to you regarding that listing. If you are not able to use a professional, there is a link that you can go to in that article that talks about shooting techniques that work. So it talks about how you can focus on different elements. One of the things I learned from a photographer is making sure that if you have a fireplace or if you have a window, that those are open and nothing is blocking them. A lot of times when you see those pictures that are blocking, someone's not going to reach out to you if they think that that room is too small. And if you have a chair in front of a fireplace or in front of a window, they're going to automatically assume that the room is not big enough to place all of the furniture. You want to come up also with a file system, because with photos, you can use those photos in a lot of different places. You can use it in a blog if you have a blog. You can use it on social media. You can use it in emails that you send out. File those photos to where you can easily go to them and pull out a photo so that you're not spending that time searching for them whenever you do want to market those listings. Some of the bonus features that they have on here is how to hire a professional photographer, beautiful real estate photos, 5 great homepage photo tips to engage real estate website visitors, a lot of different, there's also one that has different home images. So if you like to use stock photos, there's one that has like a ton of different stock photos that you could use whenever you're doing your stories or you're doing reels or whatever.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like on the on our websites, you know, like our KW websites. So I haven't done a whole lot on that separate. Does it link into MLS for our homes and pictures and things like that? Can we add as many pictures as we want on there, or is it limited like MLS is?
It's an IDX feed and it comes from MLS. So whatever is in the MLS will feed into the KW website because it's an IDX feed. So it's kind of like realtor.com or Zillow. They get all of their information from MLS. Now, realtor.com, I'm not sure about realtor.com anymore, to be honest with you, but I know for sure Zillow, you can add as many photos as you want, and you can add different information. It's not static. Oh, you can't?
No, you can't edit listings anymore on Zillow.
Oh, you can't edit them anymore. Wow.
I do have
Here
something to
comes
say.
Jeremy.
Because they're MLS, is that why?
So Zillow took away like year and a half ago, they took away your ability to edit listings.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I never really got a good, clear answer. But for uploading more photos, we can't do it on MLS, but through the Keller Williams listing system, I believe we can still upload additional photos.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not
cool.
sure all the websites that's going to feed to, but I would just assume it's going to feed to ours.
Okay, yeah, because there's usually, I mean, like, there's usually more that I want to use.
Yeah.
So I try to use them in other things, but you know, anyway, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yep. So if that's something we want to try, reach out to me sometime, or maybe we'll talk about it if there's a lot of interest. But yeah, we can take a look and see what we can do there.
I just want to make my website more active, so
Yeah.
I haven't, okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thanks.
You can also put like testimonials and stuff on there too. Okay, feature high priority listings on your homepage. Well, this is kind of what we were talking about, which Jeremy, I'm not sure about this, but I know that you used to be able to go in and select if you wanted to feature certain listings. Is that still the case?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what Josh is featured in the screenshot.
Okay, perfect. So you can actually, let's say you have your land or you have a really nice property and you want that to be featured. So when somebody actually comes to your website, those are the properties that rotate through where they see them as a featured property. Then you can actually select that. And that's what Josh has done here is he selected 4 featured properties that he's using to highlight. And you can use that whenever people are logging in and that's what they see.
I believe you can go to 12.
You can do up to 12, Jeremy said. One of the bonus features on here was how to create awesome real estate blog posts with listings. I was never a blogger, which really kind of surprises me because I talk a lot. So you would think that blogging would just be up my alley. I just never got into it. But what a great opportunity for you to have a blog, share information about the community, about, restaurants, whatever, but share your listings and then be able to use that for social media to send people over to your blog post. The piece that's really cool about that is you were just asking Amy about adding additional pictures. Well, that's what you can do on a blog post. You can put as many pictures as you want and showcase different pictures. So that's another area you can use to actually push people to a site that's branded to you and will get more interactions through that. Use email to get your listings in lead inboxes. So as you can see, we have an email here that says brand new listing. On the MLS, there is a piece under showing time where you can go in and send it to people in our office or people that have shown the property. If you have, if you have a new listing you want to put out there, if you have a price reduction, you can actually send notifications. The other thing that you can do is use programs like property, I think it's called propertyblast.com, zipmyflyer.com. Those are pretty inexpensive ways to send out emails where if you have a just listed, or if you have a just sold, or if you have a broker's open, or whatever you're doing, email is a great way to get your listings into even your sphere of influence, sending that out to them. You probably have a bunch of people that like to, and people that you probably don't even know about are probably looking at being an investor. Because I have gotten so many people reach out to me recently that I've sold houses to that actually want to start investing. So you've probably got a handful of people in your sphere of influence that want to do that today. Well, email is the best way to showcase a listing, but to also grab a buyer off of that, even though they may not purchase the property that you're sending out. Those email blasts are really good. And again, they're pretty inexpensive to be able to send out those emails. You want to think in terms of, if you get a new listing, make one of your checklist things, you write a good email blast. And in that email blast, you save it in your notes or you save it somewhere so that you don't have to recreate that email again. You just use that every time you want to send that listing out. Even if you have a price change, you can still have a formatted email that you can save in your drafts or you can put into your email folder so that you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. I think it's important too in your email. They prefer for us to use the front of the house on MLS. But I think in an email, if you have a house that has an incredible like guest house, or it has a pool, or the outside is just gorgeous, do a picture that's going to be seen first that will grab that person's attention. Just the front of the house a lot of times is not going to grab their attention. You need something to be unique so that that buyer will take that extra step, which is reaching out to you, which is then in your hands to convert them. So bonus resources, they've got one, how to market listings and open houses with email, which I thought was a good one. 5 emails real estate agents should send to every lead. So there's a lot of really good, they even have one in here that's 16 perfect drip marketing emails for your real estate leads. So all of this stuff is stuff that you can go to and reference, and don't recreate the it makes it so much simpler, and you're leveraging your time if you do that. Create special landing pages to capture lead info. We have this opportunity. We have landing pages inside of Command. Landing pages are great to be able to put, tidbits of information on your listing, but also name it something that is the address of the property, or, something very unique to where you can use that landing page on social media. Or if you send out an email blast, you might want to put the link to the landing page in there. Great opportunity for you to capture leads is through a landing page. You want it to be captivating. You want your audience to either see a great video or a picture. We are a dumb society because we don't like to read anymore. We like to just look at pictures and watch videos. So if that is the case, and if we know that, we need to focus more on showcasing our listings, because you might capture a very different demographic with a video than you would through a blog post. You might have a completely different person that you're going to actually get them to reach out to you on a landing page that they would have never responded to an email. So this is where we always talk about here. We try to communicate with you guys by different means: smoke signals, text message, email, phone call, whatever the case is. We try to communicate to where every single time, whatever form of communication someone likes, we're going to capture them. It's the same thing with buyer prospects. It's the same thing with your listings. If you have a property that has 180 acres, you're going to want to showcase that in areas that people are looking for land. You're going to want to put that in areas that people are that's going to be what they're looking for. You're not going to want to put that on a college board, like information board, because college kids are not going to be buying 180 acres of land most of the time. So you need to make sure that you're really targeting and trying to capture different avenues so that you are able to capture as many buyer prospects as you can, and also different buyer prospects. One of the things that you could do on a landing page too is put something on there like a capture form or a call to action. By that, I mean, maybe you want to put on there like a home buyer guide. So let's say this landing page, it's a $200,000 property. It's possibly going to be a first-time home buyer. Then maybe on there, you want to put a download and offer a free download to a buyer's guide. It'll help to increase conversations, but you're giving them an item of value, which is a call to action. Very important to always make sure you're adding that whenever you're doing a landing page. Bonus resource, there's one on how to use landing pages to convert visitors to leads. So these are all great things that you can use, and there's links to it in that article that will be sent out. Marketing listings with descriptive blog post. So again, keywords are very, 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 very important. An MLS listing will only allow you so many characters. So you're not able to put everything in there. And if you were to write out how you speak, you're going to be done with the words before you ever have gotten through the entire description of the property. That is because they do not give us unlimited access to putting ad in or descriptive information. That's why a blog post is also a great way to capture people that might not be captured in other areas. Here it's showing best historic homes in Charlotte and Mecklenburg County. So on the first one, the first part of the title should include a type of listing or a home feature you're highlighting: modern homes, condos, swimming pools. Then the second one, it needs to be where it's at. And then the third one is going to be an introduction, which highlights and showcases that listing. And then the fourth thing is, how are they going to contact you? So those are the 4 things that you want to make sure you have in a descriptive blog post. The cool thing about a blog post, again, is that you can actually put as many property photos on there. You can put videos. You can put just about anything that you want inside of that blog post. You want to focus on using local information that people can relate to. You want to focus on long tail keywords through your post, including like the title, what's your URL? Do you have a description that would pop up into search engines? And you want your blog post to provide ample space for you to be able to put those photos in. The photos, again, are going to be what captures people. And when you capture their attention and they don't move on to the next property that they're interested in, they stay with yours. The purpose of that is for them to then reach out to you to get more information from you, even though they might not ever even take a look at the property that they were reaching out for. You always want to make sure your contact information is in there. And you could also go into more detail about the area. So maybe schools, what's going on with, like, here we do Herd on Herd. There's certain things that you want to include in that blog post because that's going to increase the attention from that buyer to, again, be a call to action for them to reach out to you. There's a bonus resource, which is 7 tips to get the first 1,000 visitors to your blog. These are all things that I don't know about unless I read, and it's stuff that has happened with people that have been very successful with doing blog posts that don't recreate the wheel. We all know this: host great open houses. Now, again, this is also a place where not every house is going to do well with an open house. But there are things that you can do online and offline to market your open house. Daryl Grimaldi in our office has done a really good job he does ads for his open house. And those ads have increased the amount of traffic that he has coming in. There are some agents, Gina Settersy, which I don't know if many of you know because she doesn't come into the office much, but she actually built her business in the very, very beginning by capturing buyer leads from open houses. That was the way she built her business, was through open houses. Print ads like newspapers and stuff like that, I'm not a big fan of those these days, but I do think putting it on social media, maybe even if you have a newsletter that you send out, you could put, open houses this month, or, ads that you have. You can also highlight your open house in the MLS so that if somebody is actually out there, because you can run a report on open houses and you can go in and pull that report. And if you have yours on the list, there may be somebody that wants to see open houses, and that's another opportunity for you to be recognized through that open house through MLS. You definitely want to make sure that the home is staged. You want it to be presented very nice. So that way, again, that's a call to action where somebody reaches out to you because something has interested them in that property. Please, 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 if you hold an open house, capture the names of the people. And if you're not able to get those names, then you need to get with people that have been doing open houses with great success and see what they do to actually capture those names. One of the things you can do is create your own sign-in sheet. And there is a link in the article that will give you a link to create your own customizable sign-in sheet. Another thing you could do for an open house is print information on schools or print information on the neighborhood. Maybe even you want to show what houses have sold for in the neighborhood or what houses are available in the neighborhood. Those are all things that with your contact information, you're providing value, a call to action. So maybe that person will now reach back out to you for more information. One of the bonus resources were real estate open house sign-in sheet, free template download. So there's another download for that. 10 ways to leverage your real estate marketing through open houses. So the next one is actually something that gets a lot of us, but it's create a striking video. So I'm going to play this. I can't tell you how much video has just exploded. And with everything happening with the COVID-19, video tours will let you be very creative, but it'll also give buyers a better understanding of layout. Because when you're walking through or when you're putting videos of the property, it's capturing a lot more than just what the buyer is looking at in pictures. Static pictures are great, but they don't tell the entire story. I need to make sure my music was playing in the background. Sorry about that. Video tours will actually allow you to put things in that are also call to action. At the very end, if you notice, you could put your logo there, you could put your information there. That video will then be shared with other people. So it's not just that person that has your information. Now it's going to other places. And this is also something that we're going to get to it here in a little bit, but this is also something you could use on social media, maybe even on your TikTok, where you want to start using TikTok to capture that different demographic. The study has been shown that a quarter of real estate leads prefer a video over anything else to look at a property. So a quarter of all leads out there would rather have a video. Make sure that your videos they're ready to post once you're ready to get them out there, and make sure that there's a local search that's been optimized so that it will actually show up in local information with keywords. One of the resources on here is the 10 best real estate video recording apps for real estate. So again, we may not be able to hire a videographer. So when you get started, these are things that you may have to do on your own. You want to make sure that you're using the tools that are not sucking your time away, but creating that engagement with those prospects from that particular listing. Again, you may not sell them that particular listing, but the goal is to get more prospects and more buyers off of your listing. And I think they say that the average is 3 leads per listing is what you should be getting off of every listing that's out there. So next is leverage social media. This is new for you, right? We never talk about social media and how important it is. Well, one of the ones I thought was very interesting is Pinterest. Pinterest is not one that I have used, but is a great source for real estate because people will post their listings and then they'll post information on schools, restaurants, attractions, all of that. You can title your board in Pinterest with like a street address and maybe a keyword. Every pin that you put out there needs to have a good description of why you're pinning it. Is it something that's located next to the property? Is it the landing page that you have on the property? You just want to make sure that you're giving a good description of that. You don't want to pin everything all at once with Pinterest. You want to pin throughout the day. And with Pinterest, it's okay to pin the same information at different times of the day. Just spread it out to where people are not seeing it, because you're going to get different people throughout the day through your Pinterest page that you want to capture. If you have a professional business person, they're probably not on Pinterest during the day. So you're going to be pinning in the evenings, which is where you're going to capture some of those. You might capture some of the young adults that are looking on Pinterest during the day while they should be working. Do it during the day, you're going to capture that demographic. It's important that you make sure and share your pins, but also are giving consistent information out there that relates to that particular listing. One of the bonus resources is Pinterest, the perfect tool for real estate marketing. And to be honest, I've never used it ever. So if I'm not using it, the chances of there's a lot of other people that aren't using it. So that is another area that I could set myself apart by actually using a medium that is not used by a lot of agents that are out there. We all know Facebook. We know that posting on Facebook is very, very important. You don't want to post every single hour on the hour, because then people are going to think that, one, you're not busy, and two, that you're not going to really have their best interest in mind whenever you're going to help them, because you're on social media all the time. You definitely want to have a business page with Facebook. You can do reviews on there. You can do ads. It may not be when you have the most engagement. You may have more of your engagement through your personal page, but you definitely want that business page to create that brand awareness. If you have a open house, you can create a Facebook event and invite people to that open house. Your Facebook album should showcase the best photos of that particular listing. Again, they're talking about having a strong video. You want to promote your listing in those real estate groups. There is a group out there that is called something like Moving to Oklahoma or something like that. Well, there are real estate agents that get on that website, and when someone says, I'm thinking about moving to Oklahoma, they will start reaching out to those people. Great way to advertise your listings for free through those Facebook pages. One of the bonus resources is how to create Facebook real estate ads, a beginner's guide. Perfect chance for you to just jump in and actually try it out. Twitter's another big one, but I'm going to tell you something, 140 characters, I'm always over. So Twitter is not really my medium. However, you can schedule posts through there. You can do it through like Hootsuite. There's another one called Edgar where you can space those out and they will be automated. You can put media, you can put photos, and Twitter's another one where you can start to figure out like different times of the day will have different demographics. It is a very different social media tool. And again, it's not used by probably 50% of the agents. So it's a way for you to get in there and do something that's a little different that not every agent is using. One of the bonus features on this one is 35 of the best real estate Twitter accounts to follow. What better way to learn how to do something than to actually follow someone that's done it and has been successful with it? Social media is where in today's society, you will get most of your prospects converted from your listings, because that's where people are going to find you, is through social media. Instagram's another one where they have reels, they have stories. I've just started using stories on Facebook, and I am amazed at how many more people see my stuff through a story than through just posting it on like a news feed. People look at stories and you get more face time from stories than you do from actually just posting on your news feed. There's an Instagram guide for real estate. That's one of the bonus features that will help you with Instagram. The last one we'll talk about is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one of those, I don't know, stepchildren where I've never used it. I don't know how to use it much, but it is a great way when you have a strong strategy and you know who you want to connect with that are influencers, your colleagues or residents. It is a great way to have a good audience for your listings. LinkedIn is going to be primarily business people, primarily people that are going to be buying those higher end homes. So I don't know that I would put a ton of stuff out there about first-time home buyers. I might look at that midsection of homes where they're going to that next level or even one more level up, because these are professionals that are using this to grow and build their business through LinkedIn. There's a lot of, you can do like a showcase page on LinkedIn. You can develop local connections through people that have the same interests on LinkedIn. You can create groups through there. You can join community groups. You can do advertising through LinkedIn. These are all very, very important pieces that are just another avenue for your listing getting noticed so that that buyer reaches out to you. One of the resources is 9 effortless ways to use LinkedIn to generate real estate leads. I have not read that one yet, but I will be reading it because LinkedIn, I feel like, is an area of such great opportunity for us because we just don't have a lot of people that utilize it. Amplify your listings marketing with advertising. Paid real estate advertising is such a great way to generate your traffic flow. If you do a pay-per-click, and I know Facebook does pay-per-click, I don't know which other ones actually do the pay-per-click, but that is an area where you can put a limit on how much you want to spend. So you're not just out there getting clicks after clicks after clicks without putting a limit on that. But then you can also see how many people are actually clicking through. Keywords, again, are very important. It's so much better and easier when you use keyword ads than if you're just trying to develop an organic growth from that. You want to find or develop advertising copy that sells. And there is a link in that article that will say, that says stand out with amazing advertising copy. Again, don't recreate the wheel, use something that someone has used that has done market research on it, that is proven to generate buyer prospects from it. Use Google reviews. Always make sure that your information is out there, because if you get a video that's sent or a advertisement that's sent outside of a attachment that was sent with it, and your information's in the attachment, they're not going to be able to reach out to you if you do not have your information. So every single thing you do, provide your contact information. There's one that says the ultimate guide to creating a real estate business plan with a free template. I think ads and creating that and putting that into your business is very important. And again, that is a paid advertising, so it is leading with expenses. However, those are the areas that you definitely will get prospects from reaching back out to you, again, even if it's not just for that listing. You want to claim your listings on major portals, Zillow, Realtor.com, Redfin, Trulia. These are areas where you want to make sure that you're listed as the realtor. And most of the time they get claimed because they go through MLS, but I have had a couple of properties that did not get recognized as me being the realtor on Zillow. And it's very important that you make sure and claim that, so that way you are attached as the agent through that Zillow lead. Send mailers to your local community. This is another one that we've talked about lately, that high quality mailers are just not happening anymore. So when you get those in the mail, it really sets you apart. And people that receive those, it sets them apart. It is a proven fact that dentists, landscapers, all of the people that actually use that print mail and send out advertisements, they build their business, and they have been very successful with building their business off of print mailers. So let's say you have a new listing, send out a just listed. Make sure you think of things like, what is the paper that it's on? What is the envelope that it's in? Did I write the information down, or do I have a label on my envelope? These are all things that are very strategic that you want to make sure that you do every single time effectively through your mail outs. One of the things that is on the bonus resource is a case study with a realtor that created a dynamic mailer. And she has had such success from that, that you get to actually read her case study of what she did to promote that mailer and what she did for that mailer. Create a single property site for your listing. Again, this is a lot like a landing page, except that this is an actual website for your listing. Creating a whole website for a listing is something a lot of agents will do when they want to get a ton of interest. So let's say you have a $1.5 million property, or you have a horse property, or you have a commercial property that is a bed and breakfast that's very unique. This is where you would create an entire website to showcase your listing, but also make sure that you have call to actions on there. Make sure you have lead capture forms, all of the things that you would have on your landing page, but on your actual property listing. I would not do this for every property, But again, if you have one that you want to get a lot of showcase on, this is where you would want to make sure you used a single property website. Sharing listing information with other agents. This is what we do on our buyer seller needs. This is what we do when we send out just listed. This is something that through those property blast websites and that Zip My Flyer, they have all of the real estate agents already listed. So you don't even have to go out and find a list of agents. All you have to do is provide information on the actual listing and what information you want in your email, it will send to those agents. You want to send a very personalized email so that it doesn't look like it's a spam email, because most of those are never read. So change the information up a little bit, use emojis, use exclamation points, use punctuation to really capture people's attention and make sure that it's a very personalized message. And then the last one is branding your real estate listing across channels. Branding is so important. And I think the biggest piece to that is making sure that when someone sees a listing, it is consistent every time with your brand. You want it to be similar and you want to build that consistent brand. And that's one of the things that is a resource on the article, is build a consistent story across every channel. You want to use these tips right here to make sure that your listing gets across to other people. Who is your target buyer? Okay, so let's look at the house on the right. This is a cute little house that looks to be, well, it's in Midtown. So our target buyer here is probably not going to be an 85-year-old person that lives alone. This is going to probably be a young married couple, or it could be a single person, somebody that is wanting to be in the information or right in the know of Midtown, somebody that doesn't mind spending more money to get less square footage. You want to make sure that everything you do is targeting the exact buyer you want. So one of the things you could do here is use a step-by-step guide to finding buyer lead, or to finding properties for buyers, or a buyer's guide, or whatever might be something that correlates with this particular property. Maybe you want to put information on of find out what's happening in Midtown for the next month, or whatever. It's something that creates a call to action to where they reach back out to you. You want to create a unified message. So it doesn't matter wherever that home is going, you want it to be a unified message. You want them to know what are the values of the home, what are the strengths of the home, what's the style of the home, what's the neighborhood like. These are all things that you want to use as marketing assets, that when you're going and listing this property, it's branding itself across the different listing channels. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to find that special something about your real estate listing. So, maybe it's the it factor is on this one right here. It's a Tudor style home, minutes to Midtown, minutes to restaurants and shops. Whatever it is, maybe it has an incredible pool in the backyard. You have to learn or look at what are the things that are going to get my home visualized. And if you notice, the Home Team 405, they're using emojis. Emojis are proven to be one of the biggest things that people look at. And so on this particular one, they have several emojis and it captures your eye. A good way to do this is to take your listing and to use your sellers and to write down all the positives of the property. Then use those keywords whenever you're marketing and advertising that property. That is all that I have. Do you guys have any questions?
No, I think that was helpful. I want to figure out how to do the website for a couple of them for sure.
Jeremy can definitely help with that, but the this article that I'm going to send you guys, that is the creative real estate marketing ideas for your listing. This particular guide has those links that are in there that will just help you peel that onion a little bit, another layer off of it, to where you learn some of those things that will help you to be more intentional. with
Yes.
the listings that you have. And it's all about getting your listing out there in front of more people, but finding things that are going to grab attention to where they're going to reach back out to you. That's the biggest thing to getting buyer prospects off your listing, is just putting it into different channels and finding different demographics and things that speak to that particular demographic.
I'm excited about the words, like
Yeah, keywords.
because
Yeah.
I'm always trying to figure that out. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and my vocabulary is not as wide sometimes, or not as trendy.
My vocabulary, the older I get, the less trendy it is. I've started to feel my age lately. I've done some things that I'm like, whoa, I think I'm 51. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally off
Yeah.
subject, but I almost bought those earrings yesterday at Cultured Cloth.
You did?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yes.
Yeah. I saw them and they're like spiders or something. Like it's little.
Yeah, I know. I put them on for this just so I could see how they look, because I'm going to make a video in a little bit, and I wanted to make sure it looked like there was something crawling off me.
Oh, that's pretty funny. Well, it does look spiders coming off of your, it doesn't actually. I know because I saw them yesterday. They're cute though.
Thanks.
All right, guys. Well, if you don't have anything else, Josh will get that email sent out and it'll have the link to this article. And we will obviously not have a class next week because we will all be in a coma of turkey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've another question on, like on bigger properties and stuff. Is it beneficial to like drop off a brochure at other, I don't know. Just, I keep thinking about going to another broker and dropping something off that you're showing, but then,
100%.
okay, I just am like, are
Yep.
people in the office? I don't know.
Well, you can drop it off, and if they're not in the office, then they usually will put them in their mailboxes. Like we've gotten stuff before. So yeah,
yeah.
100% if
Okay.
you have a very nice property that you want showcased,
Mhm.
or find someone within that brokerage and ask them to share it with people inside, or can you print it and share it with someone? This is a great property. Here's some special
Okay.
features on it.
Okay.
All of
Alright.
that stuff is good.
Okay.
Also, we will not actually have this class for 2 weeks. Next week is Thanksgiving. The following week, I'm working remote for 3 days because Brian is becoming a woman. I forgot that this is being recorded. No, he's having a snip, so we can 51. I'm not worried about having kids anymore.
Gotcha.
Anyways, so I'll work remotely, so we won't have class for 2 more weeks, but
Okay.
anyways, but I will see you guys. If I don't see you guys before, have a happy Thanksgiving and enjoy your family, and have a great rest of your week and a weekend.
Thank you.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
Bye.